pretty aggressive targets going forward, trying to get to 1 million by 2018. Is that still the goal? Is that still realistic?
Yeah, you know, we've set an objective for the VW Group in total of 1 million units by 2018. But the most important thing is what we're trying to do is build the underlying foundations of the business so that we've got an overall position of leadership in the global industry by 2018. And part of that is achieving 1 million units for Audi and VW in the US by then. And so 800,000 vehicles for VW. I think the interesting thing is if you look back over 2 years, you begin to see this pattern of fairly fast but steady growth. So in 2010 we achieved 20% growth, in 2011 26%, so combined about 50% growth over those 2 years. And we're looking to keep double-digit growth going over on average through this period to 2018 that will get us to a more substantial level of business. But very important in achieving that is addressing a number of issues that allow us to get this profitable, sustainable growth over these coming years. And that's really what we're working on. So we're not looking at a single quarter or a single year, but really building layer by layer the growth of the business and the viability of the business here in the US.
And is the Jetta going to be the key to that growth, or do you see more of the growth being spread across the models?
Well, certainly Jetta is a very important part. As I mentioned in my comments, we had a record year last year, over 175,000 vehicles. The vehicle that we're building in Chattanooga at our new plant there, the Passat, will also become really one of the 2 volume pillars in the short term. So Jetta will still probably be our highest volume seller, but Passat will rapidly assume a strong position in our portfolio as well.
How much are you trying to increase your market share? Obviously the sales, if sales go up across the industry, sales go up for Volkswagen most likely, but clearly you're trying to become that number one. How do you get that market share increase in the US?
Yeah. I mean, the leadership is on a global basis. For example, industry last year grew 10%, we grew 26%, so obviously there was a significant market share growth. And in fact, our market share last year was the best share in 30 years. So we are seeing share growth. But again, the focus is very much on doing the right things in terms of our product, our brand development, our network, customer experience. Those things will then produce the results in terms of share and volume. And so the focus is very much on the underlying enablers of delivering that growth and share improvement. Another really important thing is this is all in the context of building a profitable business. And it was particularly encouraging that for the first time since 2003, at a national sales company level, we were profitable in the US last year.
What about building more cars in the U.S.? Obviously, like you said, you've got the Passat, but as part of the growth strategy in the U.S., are you considering building more models here in the U.S.?
Well, I mean, first of all, we're still in the phase of ramping up Passat production, so we've got to get that up to the full capacity utilisation of the investment currently in Chattanooga. We, as part of our growth plan, we do want to see our local content, both in terms of proportion of vehicles sold in the US and the content of those vehicles maintained at high levels. Both, for example, the Jetta and the Passat have local content levels of 85%. So in terms of vehicles sold in the US as we grow, we'd like to be having vehicles, the proportion of vehicles sold that are built in the North American region over 70% and keep the local content North America region again above 85% of those locally built vehicles. So there's a real commitment here to not just the market but also the industrial base, the supply base in the North American region.
When you say North American, obviously that could include Mexico.
Sure. Yeah. Because we very much look at, from a supply-based point of view, the US and Mexico as a single entity.
In terms of models you might want to bring to North America,
there are opportunities very selectively to extend the portfolio, to add in the mid-size SUV, what we call a B SUV, price between a Touareg and a Tiguan. We'd also love to see a concept vehicle like the new Bully, which was let's say a modern interpretation of the microbus. If that could come into the market at some point in the future, that'd be great as well. But those are things that are not planned, not approved, and our focus very much right now is executing the current plans.
What about Audi? Sure. Would you like to see Audi join you in Chattanooga?
Possible, they've said the very latest by 2015, but Rupert Stadler, the Audi CEO, has been very clear that he'd like to make that decision as soon as possible, and so that's something that is under consideration, but no news at this time. Okay, great.
Thank you.